Hi there, welcome to Built Not Bought by Bruce. I've been working on the Yamaha frame and I was going to post a video and I took a look at it and I thought, you know what, it's kind of short and I could put more information in it. I'm also going to have a segment on the products I used to get the frame to this point, and then I'm going to have a third section that will show you where I've gotten to. Stick with me. I'm going to break this video into the three segments. Here's the first segment. Well, I've been getting a little bit of time in on the Yamaha frame and made some progress. I'm just going to show you a couple things I've done here. One thing I've done up at the front, I took a couple tabs off of here. There was some kind of gizmo. I have no idea what it does. I know I don't want it on the bike, so that's fine. So I cleaned those up. And this is a good spot to talk about something for a second. I had a question about my video on the Harley frame, the Sportster frame, about what is frame molding. And as usual, as we often do, I assumed that people knew what I know. Not that I know a lot, I just assumed people knew what I know. And some of you may not know what frame molding is, and some people might want to learn something about it. I am not an expert. I'm not a professional body man or anything like that, but I learned from a guy when I was 17 how to do it, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I think I can probably give you some pointers. So what I'm going to do, my goal is to get this frame all cleaned up to the point where I'm ready to do some frame molding, and then I'm going to get out the filler and I'm going to show you how I do frame molding. It works for me, and I think that'll make an interesting little video. So we'll get there soon. In the meantime, got this cleaned up a little bit up here. I got the tabs for the gas tank off of there. I'm starting to figure out what I want and what I don't want. I have to see about this stuff. I need to look at some pictures and see where this ties in. You know, that's part of it when you're starting with just a frame and you didn't take it apart. You don't know what you've got here. At the back, I was able to cut a bunch of stuff off of here. Basically the back of the hoop for the seat. But of course, there's this mounting for turn signals and fender and whatever, and there's something else on the side here. And somebody had started into this and had ground it up and kind of hacked it up pretty well. So I need to smooth that out. And again, I see stuff like this and I realize that, you know, this guy probably didn't have any good coaching and didn't know how to cut welds off and was just going at it. He probably just got frustrated with it and thought, you know, I'll do something else, set it aside, and that's why I have it now. My plan here is I'm going to put this piece in the vise, and basically I want to use this part of the hoop to about here probably. I'm going to clean off these brackets that are left. We'll cut this off and grind this down smooth. These, which I take it by these impressions, were probably for the seat. Those can come off of there. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this down. I'll try and hold this so you can see it. I'm going to clean this down to a hoop that is just this piece that I can use a couple sleeves and weld on here. That'll shorten that up to about there, and it'll still give me a curve at the back for the seat pan. Give it a little bit of style. You know, it won't be just a flat seat. Nothing wrong with flat seats, but you know, I can reuse this. I could go out and buy a hoop kit. You know, I could do a lot of things, but I have this piece. Other than cleaning the welds and the brackets off of it, there's nothing wrong with it. So I think I'm going to use this. As well, back here, I've done something that I notice very few well, I don't know if I've seen anybody who did it yet. Yes, I have seen one bike that it was done on. These tubes across here, I didn't like them because they interfere with this space. And I kind of like a big open space here. I've cut these out. I'm going to go without them, I think. I started grinding this side down. I'm going to grind this off of here, get this all cleaned up, smooth that out. I've looked at a bunch of bikes too, and it seems that most guys who are doing a cafe racer, you know, or a brat, cut these off as well. And I think those can go away. I take it probably for, I don't know, rear pegs. I don't know what they were there for, but don't think I need them. So those are going to go away. That's the plan. I want to get this cleaned down, do a video on frame molding, get this one kind of ready. I can finish putting the motor together, and in the next month or two, we'll get this, get the swing arm on it, get the front end on it, get the motor in it, see how it's going to shape up, and then we can pull it apart and paint it and do whatever we're going to do. We're back on the XS650 frame. I'm continuing to clean it up. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to, and I'm still in the frame, that's good. I'm going to take this piece out. This, of course, I need for the top engine mount. But this piece, I think, was just holding a bunch of ignition stuff and everything. I didn't take the bike apart, so I don't know for sure. But I think it just had a bunch of accessories on it. I don't really like the look of it. It's going to be extremely difficult to paint. And I don't see that it's really offering any extra strength, especially given this whole gusset up in here. I don't see any purpose to it. So I'm going to get rid of this. I've decided I'm going to go with rear sets. So I'm also going to get rid of these mounting blocks where I believe the foot pegs would have gone. The rear sets mount off of here, so that's going to be nicer. Today's goal is to totally finish stripping this frame, cutting everything off of it that I don't need. Get it right down to steel. That's where I've got the Sportster 2 now. It's right down to bare steel. I'm ready to reassemble it as a test run. So that's where I want to get this one. That's the goal for today. I thought I would show you some of the products I've been using to clean this up and to take care of welds and everything. And I will tell you, Japanese bikes, that's one thing I find about Japanese bikes. Now, please, nobody be offended. Japanese engineering, phenomenal. No doubt. Japanese can build an internal combustion engine that will last pretty much forever. I get it. I love it. That's why I'm building these. This XS650 engine, I think it's just crazy. It's just a thumper, and it's dependable, and it's fun, and that's why I picked these up and why I'm doing this. However, I will say, and even today, if you go look at Japanese ATVs, motorcycles and stuff, you know, the welding has never been real good. So there is a lot of cleanup to do. A lot of the welds take some work. There's lots of high spots. I'm not going to go to a great extent with the frame molding on this one. I am going to do a little series on frame molding once I have everything cleaned up here. That's where I'm at for today. Oh, I was going to show you products. That's what I was going to do. DeWalt 20 volt cordless 4.5 inch grinder. Use this thing a lot for cutting discs, for bristle discs. 3M bristle discs are just the bomb, and they're available in 4.5 inch for the DeWalt, well, any 4.5 inch grinder. My understanding is green is coarse, yellow is medium, white is fine. I have found the green grit to be just fine for everything I'm doing. Cut right through powder coating, all kinds of stuff, and leaves the steel real nice. So bristle discs, love these things. 2-inch roll locks, 3M Cubitron. I gotta tell you, 3M Cubitron technology, unbelievable. I did pick up a few 3-inch discs here that are just regular aluminum oxide, but 3M Cubitron. This is one of their cutting discs, and they make 2 versions for this grinder, two 4.5 inch. One has an offset to it, and the other is flat. Again, fantastic product. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more money for these. They last longer. They cut cleaner. They cut faster. Just can't say enough about these zip discs or cutting discs. They are fantastic. Beyond that, I use on the big grinder, I'll use, I guess they call this a flapper disc, maybe, whatever these are called. These work real nice, and they have real good wear characteristics to them. They go for a long time. This one is getting to a point, unfortunately, where when you're trying to grind a weld, quite often the angle has gotten such that you think you're hitting the weld, but it's actually the inside diameter here, the heel, if you want to call it that is hitting where you don't want it to hit. So this is to a point now where it's getting awkward to tell where I'm hitting with it. So I did pick up a new one of those. And also I went a little bit finer than the grid I had before. So I picked up another one of those. That's going to come in handy. I use that a lot. But I saw these on the shelf and I decided to give this a try. So this is not a 3M product, but it looks pretty cool. What I really like, and the reason I'm going to try it, is look at the difference in thickness there. Quite a difference. This is much more substantial. And I was talking to the guy at Bolt Supply House where I picked these up, and I asked him, I said, share some product knowledge with me. And he said, great discs. He said, the difference that he is aware of is, if you look at this one, even the backing plate is wearing down. You can see that it's worn into the label. So as you wear down the abrasive, it'll also wear this fiber disc at the back, and it keeps shrinking with that. That's this style, and that's what'll happen here. Unfortunately on these, this is a nylon backing, and this is not going to wear down like the fiber one apparently. So you do get a little nicer flex with this nylon if you really push on it. I like the thinness, but I'm curious to see how far you get to use this before it's just leaving marks or melting the nylon. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect, but I saw it and I thought, man, I got to give that a try. So those are a bunch of the tools. I use an air die grinder a lot in tighter spaces. This is great out on bigger surfaces, but you get in tight. I also have zip discs for my die grinder. So these are really the 2 tools I use the most. I use a file the odd time. Don't like to have to do that manual stuff, but to get back at this frame, I got to do at least 1 swing arm. I picked up an extra swing arm. I found one. So I have to clean up at least 1 swing arm, and I'll probably do the one that came with this frame and keep the other one for another project. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up. I'm going to get this dirty work done, and then I can clean up my shop this weekend. All right. Hi there. Now you know where I started. Let's take a look at where the frame is at now, and I'll tell you where we're going from here. Got these tubes removed and this backbone nice and smooth. Took these mounts that were on the back off and got this tube smoothed out. Took some other small tabs and everything. The other thing I decided to do was take out this piece that ran in here. This I maintained, and it's got lots of strength for the engine mount, so that's fine. I haven't decided on a gas tank yet, and largely the reason I haven't decided on one is I haven't found one. Gas tanks, I'm sure you guys know if you've been through this, gas tanks can be tough because if somebody has a stock one in good condition, they're worth a fair amount of money. And I'm not looking to spend a lot of money on this project. The tanks that are typically available from people like Lowbrow Customs, very reasonably priced for brand new tanks, but a lot of them are chopper, bobber kind of oriented. I haven't found one yet that I think really suits the cafe racer brat kind of build I'm doing. So I'm going to do a little more looking, see what I can come up with, see what I find out there. You know, I've got a really nice Harley tank here that I was going to cut and narrow, but I think that tank's going to be better with the Springer front end and the hardtail on the next XS650. So for now, I'm just going to keep looking and see what else I can find. And that's going to determine mounting and everything. For now, I'm just going to leave this the way it is. Next steps for this, very similar to the Sportster. I don't want to put plastic filler on here or primer if there's any chance of getting oil on this before I get to paint. I'm going to hang the engine in here. I'm going to clean up the swing arm, put it on, put the wheels on, put the front end on. Anything that I might get grease or oil on here. Because while it's steel, it's easy to clean off. But once I put plastic filler on here, for sure I got to get the primer, and even then primers will absorb oils and stuff. So I really think the smartest move at this point is with it in bare steel to do a dry run, a test fit if you will, put it all together, make sure that everything lines up, make sure I get all the mounting tabs I want, figure out what this thing is going to be, and then pull it back apart, go ahead and do the molding and stuff on the frame. So my frame molding videos are going to be delayed a little bit here, but I did want to bring you up to date on the XS650 project. It's coming along nicely. I'm happy. We're going to be okay. That's where we're at for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back to you soon.